This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you're listening to the WWE Podcast.
The champ is
the one that everybody wants, me.
It's going to WrestleMania. Claymore!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass. This is my iron. You're going to acknowledge me.
What's going on, everybody, guys and girls? Welcome back to another edition of the SmackDown review right here on the WWE Podcast. As always, I am one of the hosts of the show, Michael Ritter. You can find me on Twitter, Michael5Ritter, and also one of the hosts of the Football Function Podcast, available on all of your podcasting platforms, including Patreon, if you're tired of those pesky ads. Joining me on today's episode, my humble co-host, John Carrasco. You can find him on Twitter, at Big Speaker. That's BIGG_Speaker. John, how you doing on this very good Friday?
No, I'm doing pretty good, of course. I mean, we're here. I mean, following our little
bonus episode?
Yeah, stock investment.
Yes.
That was pretty interesting and stuff like that. I don't know if anybody's checked it out, but if y'all haven't, definitely tune in.
Definitely
to that
check it out and give us your feedback.
Yeah, definitely. If y'all have some...
Who did we miss?
Superstars.
Who did we forget? Because you know there's some. So, yeah, that's what I'd love to hear from you, the listener, is who should we have picked? Who did we pick? Who you guys are thinking, what the hell are you thinking? Just shoot us your opinions on that. We definitely would appreciate that. But, yeah, go ahead.
But other than that, man, I mean, of course, Funky Town, we're here ready to wrap this little review up for everybody and stuff like that. So, yeah, let's go ahead and knock this thing out.
Yes. Is this the final show for the WWE Podcast on 2022?
I believe so, right?
It might be. I mean, I don't know if Matt's doing any recording tomorrow on the final day, actual New Year's Eve. I mean, of course, he's doing the weekend review Sunday, but that's New Year's Day. That's already 2023, so he'll be doing the first of 2023. I believe we are closing out the year. Hey, let's get 2022 out, right? It's it's that garbage that was hanging around just a little bit too long. You know, it's got that stench to it. You really want to, get it out. It's got things in that trash that you don't want to look at anymore. You know, you're ready to see some a new trash bag. That new trash bag is 2023. But let's hope that 2023 isn't compared to a trash bag. So I hope that I can come up with a better analogy between now and then. But to close out 2022, man, it's a dang good honor. I almost said the F-bomb there. I will say it has been an honor talking about SmackDown with you. You've been here for pretty much the whole year, you know.
Man. It's been a wild ride, let me say that.
I'm excited for the next time we do this because, and obviously on Sunday whenever I record for the Football Function, it'll be the fourth different year that I've recorded a podcast in. Nice. Obviously starting in 2020 and then 2021 is when I launched my own podcast. Here we are in 2022, so those 3 years, and then 2023 will be the fourth. It'll be your second, though, man. You know, you're getting there,
trying
you know.
Build a little milestone, get some steps in the block, I guess you could say.
Exactly,
but,
yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's been a good little trip doing everything. You know, it's good to kind of just, like I've said this before, sit down, digest the whole wrestling as a whole, I guess you could say now. And, yeah, and just being able to do this, speak to plenty of people across the world and everything like that. It's cool for, I guess you could say, my voice to be somebody that, or something for that people are interested in listening to, I guess you could say. But other than that, man, I do appreciate you bringing me along for the ride and everything like that. It's been freaking awesome. I mean, yeah, just another big year coming up. And yeah, as soon as I get more in tune with what's going on, I just feel like I'll be a little bit more knowledgeable with what's going on. I feel like I'm just a year behind. I just feel like I'm a year behind with, trying to stay in tune with some storylines, I guess you could say.
I feel you. Yeah, you are. You're about a year behind. That's a good example. Like you're showing up to a party. You're whipping out the dance moves from last year. You're whipping out the old school stuff. But here we go. You'll catch up.
I gotta train with it.
You'll get up to speed without a doubt. But I am looking forward to talking about this episode. But I must say, here at the beginning of the show, we got to give Rocky T a shout out. He hit me up on Instagram, and I'm pretty sure he might have shared the news with other people as well. But he met Roxanne Perez at his local gym. I mean, could you imagine being at a gym? Me personally, because the gym I work out at, and how inclusive and private it is. Mm-hmm. So my personal experience, if I saw a WWE superstar walk in to my local gym, I would number one, go need to get probably a new pair of pants. Number two, be like, what the, like, how in the hell are you in here? You know,
Right.
it would be pretty wild.
Oh,
but,
man.
you know, shout out to Rocky T. I'm sure that's just, you know, a wild story he's going to get to tell now going forward.
Oh yeah, I bet you that was a good experience, especially like her up and coming in NXT and everything like that. It's crazy that she got like the little billboards that are, you know, displayed for her and stuff like that. So I guarantee that experience was fun, exciting, but man, I can't even imagine just meeting a celebrity just out in public, you know, just small little Amarillo, I guess you could say. But I mean, of course, there are
Terry
people
Funk
that come
lives
here. Exactly, I was about to get to that, Terry Funk, man. But they're I mean, it just seems like Amarillo is kind of just small, you know, just kind of its own little thing, and it's very rare, I guess you could say. I mean, of course, we get some live shows here that come every now and then, but yeah, man, I think that would be awesome just to be able to meet at least one of the superstars. Doesn't matter if it's like a favorite or anything like that, but at least somebody, you know, just to kind of.
It is cool,
bounce
man.
off of.
It'll happen.
Oh, yeah.
You're going
Oh,
to
yeah.
meet somebody at some point. I mean, I can remember 8th grade when I was at Hooters. Just
Look
a
at
little
that.
bit of a
See?
name drop. little bit of a name drop, 8th grade at Hooters. But I met Brian Kendrick and R-Truth.
Okay.
And Vladimir, I don't want to butcher his last name. He's a Russian. He was pretty much the, I don't know, Vladimir something.
Okay.
Volkov, maybe? I don't know. Someone is saying, oh my gosh, you're a stooge. It's blank. But yeah, I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, you met him though. You met
Yeah,
him.
I met all three of them at Hooters. Brian Kendrick was like, hold on 1 second, man. I'm got to give a phone call to my buddy real quick. I was trying to, you know, hey, can I get a picture? But
Right.
R-Truth was right there, you know, gave me a quick pic. That was awesome. And that was back whenever he was just now kind of introducing himself to the, you know, main roster scene.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I can't even, like I said, I can't even imagine it. But whenever it happens, man, I'm gonna indulge that as much as I can, I guess you could say. But yeah, you're up there on the list.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Roman Reigns, that's a
Yeah.
That's a nice one to
that's
have on
wild
your
right
badge. That's a nice one to have on your Boy Scout badge right there. Your little whatever it's
Vest.
called. But yeah, vest. Yeah, I don't know why I'm
There you go.
letting it slide. I'm not a Boy Scout, obviously, but 7 minutes in, I feel like that's enough little, you know, small talk banter. We can get into the actual SmackDown that aired on, what is this, December 30th, obviously, 2022. The hyped up SmackDown that took place in Tampa, Florida. Felt like a pay-per-view.
Oh yeah, this was pretty big, man.
Like, if you just said the events, like, don't put the name of the show or the date, and you just put what happened, and you get Charlotte Flair returning and capturing a women's championship, John Cena having his only match of the entire calendar year, Roman Reigns having his one, you know, you can count on two hands probably how many matches he's had in a 12-month calendar year, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens going at it. Just all the stuff that kind of happened throughout the duration of this show. If you don't say it's a SmackDown, you wouldn't know it's a SmackDown. You know, this felt like a pay-per-view, and I was a big fan of kind of how everything played out. I'm looking forward to breaking it down with you. But as you know, I ran a little late to start the beginning, but I was there about 8 minutes in. I was able to see Bray Wyatt and LA Knight kind of have their interaction, but you had more of an in-depth look on this thing. Well, pretty much, what did I miss?
So basically, you know, just from the beginning, we get the long freaking entrance from Bray. You know, does his little creep up and everything, I guess you could say. But basically, he just starts out. You know, he's just issuing an apology to the ref that he had attacked last week. You know, just I guess given the circumstance, he didn't mean to snap like that. But I mean, I understand. I mean, well, I don't understand. I don't get what the heck that was all about.
Yeah.
So I mean, for him,
On the
to just-
cameraman?
yeah, for him just to come out here. I mean, I get the apology. You know, I mean, you don't want to attack anybody besides the person that you're going against, I guess. But yeah, it was just kind of weird. But then LA Knight, he just interrupts, I guess you could say. Comes down with his chants, and he's basically just, well, he calls Bray Wyatt a fraud, broken down loser, you know. So that's what I kind of took from that. That was kind of a big point. But then Bray comes back. He's just saying that he doesn't want to be that cruel person type stuff, you know. But LA Knight goes and he basically just issues a challenge to Bray Wyatt for the for a match at the Royal Rumble, basically.
Yes.
So I mean, we know we know where it's going, I guess you could say. And on the other hand, I mean, of course, Bray, he accepts the challenge and everything like that. And of course, we're interrupted by who we assume to be Uncle Howdy.
There is speculation, some conspiracy theorists and theories, I guess,
Just following and looking.
being thrown
what's
around
going
the
on.
internet.
Yeah, I mean, like you can clearly go and look up any of the pictures and stuff like that. The mass between who came out tonight and actual Uncle Howdy picture. There's definitely
There's snapshots and there's obvious differences, whether it's the hair, the specific details in the facial hair in
like
the mask.
beard now, or the beard.
Yeah, the little goatee looking thing. Yeah, the mustache. We really didn't get a great look. That's why it's hard to, truly form an opinion off of it. But, I guess we'll kind of see. I mean, we all remember what Uncle Howdy looks like. I mean, hopefully they didn't switch it up too much. But either way, I do believe that this was a little bit of a curveball, him coming out. Like, it's really what made the segment kind of flip on its head. Like, because then you really didn't know what the hell was going on.
Well, I was actually thinking, okay, we're about to get something to like hold on to for the road to Royal Rumble, and then this to happen. I mean,
see, whenever he set his hat in the ring, I was like, oh my gosh, please don't tell me he's going to set his hat in the ring and walk away, and that's all we're going to go off of. So whenever he walked to the stairs and he actually entered the ring, I was like, okay, like I'm into it. Like, I was like, oh man, something's going to happen here. Like, are we going to hear him say something? And then he obviously climbs in the ring and has the face off with LA Knight, gets in the middle, turns around, has a face off with Bray Wyatt, and then goes stands next to him, Brothers of Destruction style, and then Sister Abigail just hits it, and then my mind was blown. LA Knight's mind was blown. I'm sure yours, I'm sure yours was, as well as all the people in attendance.
Oh yeah,
including Dr. BGB. Shout out to
shout out.
Member of the casual wrestling crew and also the Patreon. Obviously. He was lucky enough to be in attendance tonight. So, it's always a pleasure. We are going to have that privilege of watching this match.
Oh, yeah.
The pitch black match is what it's labeled. Gimmick match, I guess. I'm scared of the dark, man. So I hope they don't, turn all the lights out in the Alamo Dome and we just, have to pull our phones out or something like that. Obviously a little bit of sarcasm, but hey, I'm not trying to, be in a stadium with the lights shut out. But anyways, this was a wild way to start the show, though. I was very into it, and it made the show automatically have like a big feel. So I was all aboard for this bad boy. What did you think, just as a segment as a whole?
Well, man, I mean, like I said, whenever he got into the ring, did what he did, like, man, I just don't know what to take from this. I don't know exactly, what to think, man. But the thing that kind of got me is like we're getting a little personality from it. I mean, I'm assuming that we got a new song with the character that came out, so that was kind of cool. But I mean, it definitely has me thrown for a curve, and for it to be coming down to, I guess, the Rumble or Royal Rumble match. I mean, I guess we got 3 weeks in between that.
Yeah, something along those lines. So, about 4.5 weeks, whatever.
If they don't build this to where, I mean, where it's going, and the expectation is going to be like this high, and it ends up being like in the middle, I guess you could say, it's going to be kind of hard to get behind the whole Bray thing, I guess you could say, down the road. But, yeah, definitely excited to see what happens from here on out.
All righty. Well, let's go ahead and move on to another thing that happened on SmackDown. The Sami Zayn and Paul Heyman backstage exchange. This was pretty much just to plant the seeds, to start to, get your mind wrapped around the idea that there might be a little bit of a displeasure, you could say, with the attention that Sami Zayn has been getting. Basically, Paul Heyman says the optic of Roman and Sami both standing in the ring and the crowd chanting, Sami just, like, without saying it, they kind of just, he squinted, he's like, are you picking up what I'm putting down? Like, that's not what should be happening. And Sami's like, did he say something? Like, I mean, does he have to say something? He's a tribal chief. It's kind of the exchange and where it ended. But right after that, they let him in the locker room. Seems business as usual, but just the interaction at first, just the gatekeeper almost. Paul Heyman just kind of just letting us know. What'd you think about that?
Well, from the get, I mean, Sami, he's been part of this. Most of the time we go into any videos with them, they're already in the locker room. But it seems like we've taken that step back to where Sami has to like go back to the knocking to get back into the door, I guess you could say. So that was one of the things I kind of picked up, maybe keep my eye on. But to me, this kind of feels like, or to you as well, does this kind of feel like one of those like mafia mob things where like somebody's gonna get whacked, so they kind of, play it the right way, take them to a certain spot, and then end up whacking them there,
Yeah.
Like, that's the vibe I'm getting from this. So that's what I kind of picked up from it. So yeah, that was kind of like.
Have you ever seen Black Mass?
Oh yeah, with Johnny Depp.
Yeah, with Johnny Depp.
Yep.
They do stuff like that.
Same thing.
Take
with,
him out there.
Goodfellas. That's what I'm kind of getting from this. So I mean, that's what I took from it, and yeah, I already can see like the vision for this road, I guess you could say.
I hope that San Antonio, Texas, is not where the whacking takes place.
Oh
but
my gosh, it was just quotations, quotations.
We'll see. But up next, we get Solo Sikoa versus Sheamus. Just in, just a regular old fashion. Let's throw it down. It's pretty much what we got here. As you'd expect, these two beat the hell out of each other. Very physical. A lot of interference in this match. You got a lot of brawling brutes. A little bit of the bloodline getting involved here. There was just, by the bloodline, obviously, I mean the Usos, because Sammy and Roman Reigns, they were both probably getting prepared for their tag team match. But the Usos were out there in his defense, just basically trying to even the numbers a little bit. But these two they were really beating the hell out of each other throughout the duration of this match. Solo does take advantage, steals the win. And then the bloodline tries to basically decapitate Sheamus by putting the steel chair around his neck, put him in the corner of the ring. And whose music hits? None other than the Scottish Warrior, Drew McIntyre. And that's basically all I needed to know. Another return that you can add to make the pay-per-view feel be a little bit more, I guess, cemented in your brain. Drew McIntyre, he showed up and, basically says, not so fast here. And luckily Sheamus gets out alive. But as far as the match goes, I know you're pretty high on Solo. What'd you think about him beating Sheamus here?
Well, I mean, for it to happen, I mean, of course, we already knew it was going to, but for him to get the win, that's definitely already like a good rising, for my stock in him. But, man, the match, of course, you said these two dudes, they beat each other up. It was entertaining. My eyes were glued, so I can't really say that I ever stepped away from it, tried to ingest this one as much as I can, but I don't know, man. The Drew, I mean, of course, it was announced, later on down the road, Usos, they're going to get that little title match against, since he was, Drew was hurt last time. But for them, I hope this is the wrap up of that. Of course, I'm already looking past the whole Sheamus and Drew, maybe even winning. I'm already, Usos taking that. But, hopefully this is a wrap to that, and we can kind of just move on.
I bet something along those lines will happen.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm thinking, but who knows? They can freaking...
Because I was telling you yesterday when we were at work how you and there was somebody standing next to you, and I had the vision in my head of Claymore and both of you at the same time. Mm-hmm. And that kind of just made me think, where's Drew McIntyre? It's been a while. And sure enough, the next day he shows up. But, I definitely want to see Drew in the ring very soon, and I imagine he will be an entrant in that Royal Rumble. But let's go ahead and move on to another.
Good to see him back.
Oh, for sure. Another match here, though.
Mm-hmm. But I do feel bad for Butch, man. He took two just super kicks and just was out, the whole time whenever they were doing that. And I do feel like the whole distractions on the outside of the ring was just kind of a damper on the whole match itself, though.
Yeah, for sure. I could definitely agree with you there. Just it took away
from what was actually
the true, I guess,
the true beating,
the physically imposing match that was taking place. The distraction is ultimately what allowed Sheamus to lose it, and that's kind of what sucks there. But another match took place here tonight, and it actually was for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Raquel Rodriguez versus Ronda Rousey. I mean, Ronda came out in a taekwondo or whatever, a martial art jacket. I probably don't completely said something that I shouldn't have said. So don't come kick my ass. Okay, I'm sorry. But anyways, she usually has a Roddy Piper jacket on. And she comes out in a different jacket on this time. So you do you notice that type of stuff. Big time match. Usually people and wrestlers do this for pay-per-view. So another reason why I led you to believe that this match had a pay-per-view feel to it. And that's the theme of this show. But it was just because it was at a pay-per-view doesn't mean there was any shortage of botches. The military press, whatever the hell Raquel was trying to do to Ronda Rousey, where she tried to throw her in between the ropes and she ended up throwing her on the ropes. Dude, that hurt so bad. Like, seriously, just dead weight, just going on there, get whiplash, like landing on that rope. There was one in particular where she literally went face first into the top turnbuckle, and I legitimately was like, ref, you should probably go check on her real quick, make sure she's still conscious right now.
I thought that one's pretty legit.
Ronda isn't good at selling like that. So whenever it looks like that happened, most likely she literally got her face knocked in. So that's just kind of what you expect when you watch a Ronda match. But one thing I didn't like about this one, man, is Shayna Baszler interfering. Referee clearly sees it and just, hold on, what, did you just do that? Did you? And he just asked like 5 times. I was like, are you kidding me right now?
That was after she.
Are you an NFL referee? Because that's probably how they would handle a situation like that. Just completely botches that situation, and it was awful. But Ronda Rousey does get the win. This wasn't something that I necessarily didn't think was going to happen. Like I expected Ronda to win, although this did have a big night feel. I was like, man, like I wouldn't be surprised if a title changed hands. But what did you think about the match before the following activities transpired?
Well, of course, I mean, we knew about this match last week as well, you know. I mean, wasn't really looking forward to it, but I mean, of course, I am interested in the Raquel. I mean, she was on my list, and you ended up snagging her from me. But
let's not have any spoilers, all right? The episode isn't even 24 hours old yet.
But yeah, man, I mean, it was pretty. It was pretty good match for Raquel, I guess you could say. I mean, she was injured, and they still try to put her over as being this dominant, powerful superstar, I guess you could say. You know, I don't even know if it was the Hana bomb that she did on the side of the apron.
Yeah.
Whenever that looked pretty good, you know. I mean, of course, she's supposedly supposed to be injured, so I mean, she's working through it. But I felt like this was just a good spotlight for her. Like, man, I don't know. The whole makeup with Ronda Rousey is freaking throwing me off. I did like the gold, white, and black gear that she was wearing this time. I thought it was pretty legit. I don't know. Pretty good uniform right there. But I don't know, man. I can't really say where this is supposed to go now with them, you know, because, of course, I think that's still going to be a little feud that's going to go on outside of, you know, this situation that we're about to talk about. But yeah. I don't know where to go with the Raquel and Ronda thing now.
Well, Ronda steals the win. And then whose music hits during the celebration? Charlotte Flair. Big, massive return. Mm-hmm. Absolutely outrageous. The camera crew botched this, though.
That outfit, though, fire.
Okay. They don't really have an opinion on it yet. She has the shooter sleeve on over there, I guess, because, you know, she, storyline-wise, injured her arm, and that's why she took a lot of time off back in May. Ronda Rousey's the one that injured her in the I Quit match. But anyways, the camera crew botched this, man. Like, her music hits. I'm like, what, is that Charlotte's music? Is that Ric Flair's music? Like, what's going on here? Because we could see Charlotte's face. We see the crowd's face. Or not Charlotte's face, sorry. We see Ronda's face. And then the crowd's faces. You hear the music, but it's like a new song. So I'm like, what is going on here? And then finally they show the Jumbotron and we see Charlotte Flair. But I was like, man, are you kidding me? This massive a return, you're going to botch it like that? Like, am I the only one that feels this way? I'm not sure how you feel. I'm interested to see what the listeners think. But because, I don't know, that was just weird. I just felt like, you know, whoever in production, whoever controls what camera is shown on TV at the right time, they mishandled that one, man. This has happened before. Whenever Edge made his return and he speared someone, like the first Edge spear, like someone, the camera was on the crowd. And you just see the crowd go crazy, like, whoa, because, you know, Edge just had his first spear whenever he entered the Royal Rumble. And that was just another one of those situations. I had to say, just between the referee having that crazy, stupid, I guess, terrible decision-making in the Ronda Rousey and Raquel match, and then following this, the production having an awful mistake as well. I was like, man, come on, you guys got to step your game up, dude. You guys are sounding like Ronda Rousey on the mic here, which was freaking terrible.
That was bad.
Her mic skills.
Like, for her to be telling Shayna that I got this, you know? Go ahead, though.
But, dude, no, you're good. But leading up to that, though, man, just whenever her and Ronda, whenever her and Charlotte, whenever she was like, you want to match at SummerSlam. Oh, wait, hold on. SummerSlam, Royal Rumble's closer. Like, that was clearly a mistake. That wasn't written for her to say SummerSlam. They're not going to advertise a pay-per-view that was 3 months ago whenever we're clearly getting into Royal Rumble season. She tried to recover there. It was terrible. Her mic skills are so bad, I seriously want to stick my head in a blender. Like, it is just terrible. Like, when I'm listening to it, it's like, oh, my God. Because I get secondhand embarrassment, man. I can't stand the heel character. And that's the thing is I love the star power. Anytime there's a big star on the WWE roster, it makes me feel a sense of security. That's a weird thing to say, but it almost makes me feel like I'm guaranteed some big stuff. If the roster is weak, I'm like, I don't know what they're going to do here. They're going to push Jinder Mahal as the champion, Like, I know Jinder Mahal taking a little bit of a ricochet shot here, but it is what it is. Whenever you have big stars on the roster, you feel good about the prospects, and people feel the way they feel about Ronda. It's usually pretty polarizing one way or the other. It doesn't really matter for me. I know that she brings eyeballs, and right now she is just very bad. She needs to step her game up for sure, because this is just, it's tough to watch. I'm glad she got this title ripped away from her, because that's pretty much what happens. She accepts, like you said. Mm-hmm. She tells Shayna, I got this. They have this match. It's basically a squash. Does not take long at all. And Charlotte Flair, she hits a little bit of a big boot. She hits a spear. Doesn't put her away immediately, though. Ronda does maybe hint that she's going to try to put her in the armbar, which I was like, please no, please no, please no. And then a little bit of a roll-up. Charlotte gets to win. Surprisingly celebrates in the crowd. That was crazy, because I expect her to be a heel, but that was a babyface move. So that's kind of what I was looking at there, like, oh, babyface Charlotte? Like, is this what we're getting here? I don't know. But what do you think about this? Just Charlotte returning, taking the championship, and Ronda being about as good as the second grader.
Well, to quote Michael Cole, holy hell, that was freaking the music, of course, Cena coming out. It was just wow, I guess you could say, but I did not expect the match to actually happen right then and there. I thought it was going to be pushed off. Maybe Shayna Baszler convince Ronda Rousey not to do this, but of course, Ronda, she just lays that belt out in front of her, feet, I guess you could say, and says, "Let's do this." I guess you could say, "Go at it." And yeah, man, the only twist that had me was whenever she got her into that little arm situation, and it was just a quick roll at 1, 2, 3, and I was just like, dang, this really just happened on a regular SmackDown, So it was good to see. Of course, it makes the woman champion. Of course, Charlotte Flair, the whole belt being more interesting to watch. You know that
A show,
yeah, exactly. I don't know what you were trying to say right there, but I get you. But yeah, man, it's she's somebody that I believe to hold that belt, and her being 14-time champion now,
something like that. Yeah.
Hey, man, she's racking them up.
Counting them up, man. That's what she's doing right now. But hey, I will say this next segment though that we're going to talk about. If there was any segment on the entire show that I could be a part of, this is the one that I would pick. A roast of Top Dollar in the locker room? Are you kidding me? Excuse me. This had my name written all over it. Like, when I was watching it, I was like, oh my gosh, they were all just taking their turns, getting their one-liners in, and I was just sitting there enjoying every bit of it, because it was just such a lovely thing. I do believe his reaction itself was a little bit over the top, or, I'm not sure if that's maybe his style. Maybe he needs to keep it a little bit lower there. But either way, just the shots that were coming left and right, and obviously he reacts to ricochets. Of course, the smallest one there. Oh, no, it just shoves him. Clearly leaning towards a heel turn, but it's crazy that it took a terrible botch to change the trajectory of your character. Like, because you had an absolute terrible in-ring performance and you blamed it on your leg giving out, whatever. I'm not saying he's a liar, but either way, it was a terrible performance, led you to a heel turn pretty much. Like, yeah, whatever. Not really. There's a reason why Hit Row was not even thought about in our stock investment episode.
Yeah, man. Well, it was just funny to me. Of course, we get the little comedy out of it and everything like that. But for Masay and Mansoor, to get them, that was kind of funny to me. But the funniest one was from Riddick, whenever he called him Flop Dollar. After he said that, man, I was just starting laughing right there. And, of course, like you were saying, for him to go after Ricochet, the smallest person, I didn't really get that. I guess what some people were speculating that maybe this might be a heel turn for.
And that's the thing is Ricochet's was the least insulting. Always like, hey, it's not as easy, or hey, it's not as easy. I make it look. Oh, you son of a! Like, are you kidding me? All the other dudes literally insulted you, and you're gonna go after the guy who pretty much just was trying to maybe provide some perspective. Like, hey, it's not so easy, guys. Maybe take it easy. And he's gonna get shoved, So
yeah,
definitely funny, but
yeah, it definitely was just funny, but. Was Shanti's hair, the way he just kind of had it like flow back, I guess you could say. That was kind of crazy to me. But, I mean, overall, of course, this was just a funny little segment. And, yeah, man, can't get nothing but laughs from this.
Yeah, like I said, this was the one segment that I was jealous I wasn't there for. It was just so, I was enjoying every second of this. I'm sure there might have been at least one listener that was watching and saying, oh, I know Mike's loving this. But anyways, what's up next?
Well, basically, we have another little bloodline segment.
Backstage,
Sammy,
right?
Yeah, backstage.
Okay.
They're just sitting in the locker room and everything like that. And Sammy, I guess he's just kind of like alluding to what him and Paul Heyman talked about. And he basically just asked Roman, face to face, if it's a problem or if it bothers him that the crowd is chanting Sami Zayn or Sammy over Roman.
Yeah.
And basically, Roman just says, no, it doesn't bother him, but he wants Sammy to bring that same intensity that he had last week to this match that they're about to be going into and everything like that. And if he does, Sammy's basically, or Roman, he's not even going to have to work that hard for this match. Just be an easy day at the job, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty surprised that you missed that. I thought that was a pretty big part to that next, or to the Paul Heyman thing and stuff like that. So yeah, glad I was able to fill you in.
Yeah, I'm glad you are too. That was definitely a pretty big moment, just Roman having just an opinion on it in general. Him, no pun intended, acknowledging it.
Of course, whenever this is happening, you get the staring eyeballs from, well, actually, you get wide eyeballs from Paul Heyman, shocked that Sammy's even asking this, I guess you could say. But what you got, Solo, Usos, you're just getting mean mugs from there, back, eyes behind your head type stuff. So, yeah, that was definitely a little bit more into the maybe we got something actually happening.
Yeah, maybe so. Did you notice my shirt? Outcast?
I did not, dang. Okay. Little Andre.
Pretty nice, huh?
Yes, sir.
Thomas, shout out. My cousin got this for me for Christmas.
Nice.
Had to rep it here, but anyways, let's go ahead and move on. This is the Imperium segment. They declare that 2022 was the year of the Ring General, and nobody on SmackDown is capable of taking it away from him, the Intercontinental Champion, that is. Championship, I should say. And out comes Braun Strowman and says, hey, because they played a video package showing all the wrestlers that got beaten by Gunther so far in his Intercontinental Championship reign, and Braun Strowman points out, hey, one thing I noticed about that video there was I am not on it, which means you have not beaten me and you can't beat me. And he says, I want a shot at your title. They basically laughed off, try to leave. He says, hey, I'm not asking, essentially. Like, you're going to give me an opportunity at that. And then goes at Giovanni, goes at Ludwig. They kind of just, have a little bit of a 3-on-1 at first. Did you see the chair shot, though, that happened? Because Ricochet comes out and he helps.
Dude, yeah.
See, the thing is, because last week's episode of SmackDown was pre-taped 2 weeks ago, all of the stitches, all the scars and stuff have an extra week to recover. It's not truly a week after. So that's one thing I was looking for, and I was like, oh, well, dang, those episodes, that episode was pre-taped. So it was actually 2 weeks ago that they all got split open. But yeah, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Oh, yeah, just that the hit from Ricochet to Gunther.
Gunther
right?
with the
On
chair.
The side, yeah, I was about to say, dude, that didn't even look like it was supposed to happen. It just like he kind of just reached and it just happened to smack.
I must not have seen that, but I've seen all the reaction to it. And people are like, whoa, man. Like, so was it like old school type of chair shot to the head that was just accidental, or was it like, ooh, like that wasn't even in the right spot? Like
I don't even think like just like maybe like the length of the chair from the top of the rope to Gunther down, from Ricochet holding it. It looked like he didn't think it was going to be that far of a reach, And he just went over, and it definitely didn't hit him smooth. It hit him probably like on the roundabout of the top of the chair, So yeah, it was definitely something that wasn't supposed to happen. It looked like to me.
No, I mean it's clear. Excuse me, it clearly wasn't supposed to happen, and that's what the reaction on Twitter definitely has been, and that's the reason why I knew something happened that I missed. I'm glad you were able to see that, but let's go ahead and continue on here. Yeah, I mean Ricochet comes out, even the numbers, but we're going to get Braun Strowman as one of the probably the next challenger for Gunther, and I believe it's going to be another up, another down for the Intercontinental Champion. But one thing I did see, because of the Ricochet and Top Dollar interaction and backstage encounter, we get a Royal Rumble qualifying match. Mm-hmm. They're earning it. They're making it feel like it means something. You got to earn your spot in this match. So whenever your name and your music hits that you're coming out of the Royal Rumble, you know that you earned it. And I love that. It should be 15 spots for SmackDown dedicated. And then, all right, between now and January 28th, let us figure out who earns those 15 spots on our brand. Raw can figure out who earns their 15 spots. And we'll go from there. It's the way they used to do it in the Ruthless Aggression era, and that's why I freaking love that era, because of the structure. Like, there was so much, like, they followed rules in that era. There was no, come over here. If you go to a different brand, it was a massive deal, you know? So I can't wait for you to get to that point. And you'll see, like, oh, no wonder Mike is so, like, entrenched in this brand split stuff, because I'm a Ruthless Aggression era guy.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just, the era that the structure was really implemented, and I would love to see him kind of go back to that. The fact that Triple H is pulling the strings, he knows. He was there. He was a World Heavyweight Champion for a huge chunk of that Ruthless Aggression era, so sign me up for it. But, the fact that we're getting a qualifying match, I love to see that. I do expect Ricochet to advance. There's no way that Top Dollar is going to. If Top Dollar is one of the first people to qualify for the Royal Rumble, that makes me feel great about the Royal Rumble. I'll say that. But anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, man, I was about to kind of say the same thing, I guess you could say, not too harsh. But, yeah, man, for this, like you said, for it to be a qualifying match, I mean, of course, it makes sense. You got to kind of rebound on the past weeks that you've just been mishandling your matches, I guess you could say, botches here and there. But, yeah, man, for this to be happening, of course, like the little feud, it's kind of weird because, like, I don't expect Top Dollar to be anything over probably like a B- in this match, because what is he going to bring that to match Ricochet, I guess you could say. It's just kind of seems like you get a lopsided ladder here, I guess you could say, and yeah, I think Ricochet is going to advance as well.
I just think that's the right thing to do. It's not rocket science. Mm-hmm. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the main event. The reason why everybody was looking forward to this SmackDown. John Cena.
Yeah.
When his music hit, I was like, man, this feels good. This feels right. Like, I am glad that this match is happening right now. And the fact that we get to cover it, it just makes this episode of SmackDown in particular feel a little bit sweeter than, maybe some episodes in the past. But the match itself, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, just to start this off, of course, with him being pretty early, but the little message that he had, like whenever he was saying, I'm not talking to the cameraman, I guess you could say, but he was talking to you.
Sue. Or us.
Yeah.
Did he say you? And I must have thought he said Sue.
I was thinking you, but
okay.
Gosh.
Makes sense. I was like, who the hell is Sue? I was like, am I missing something? Who is Sue?
I was about to say, man, I just feel like that was just a little... Like, he had me there,
So it felt good?
Yeah, I was like...
Made you feel fuzzy?
Yeah, a little something there. He gave me a little tingle, so that was pretty awesome.
Like the Grinch on Christmas?
No.
When his heart grew three sizes.
You trying to say...
When his heart grew three sizes. No, come on.
No, but yeah, I mean, I kind of felt... Just that little... Whatever he said right there at that time, man, was just... He hooked me with it. It was pretty awesome.
John's a beast. He really is. His haircut was a little bit distracting in the duration of this match, but I mean, it was a long match.
I was gonna say, man, it's a long time. We're getting old, man. You kind of gotta give it to him, It's like a mark in the book right there.
But I mean, at the same time, it's like, man, if you just had a little bit shorter, you just your regular haircut, your regular John Cena haircut, and it would look normal.
Yeah.
It's because you're trying to grow it long, is why we're like, hey. You're a little old, but hey, I mean...
Well, I say nowadays you can get the hair taken care of, so...
Yeah.
You might as well just, cut that thing off.
I agree. But this match started with like 22 minutes left in SmackDown, so I knew it was going to be a little bit of a long one. There was a couple commercial breaks during it.
I know, that was a damper.
Took a little bit for Roman and John to actually get tagged in. They actually got, got it on outside of the ring before they actually were tagged in. Sami Zayn hit a haluva kick or something like that on John Cena as well. Just kind of, take him out of the equation for a little bit. But, dude, it was so distracting. I don't know what the hell happened to Kevin Owens' eye.
Oh, dude.
It was obvious after the match was over, which Kevin Owens and John Cena win. This was a pretty good one. I mean, Sami Zayn is the one who gets pinned. That's a big point, obviously. And we're going to let Roman Reigns get pinned. But it was clear it was going to happen after he hit the stunner on him, and John Cena was standing there, and the ref was making the count 1, 2, 3. But John was kind of just, like, and I was like, dang, this is really about to happen. Nobody kicks out in this specific situation whenever the partner's there basically shielding them. So that was wild. But, dude, what the hell happened to KO's eye? What did I miss? Because that looked pretty bad. Like, I don't know if I was just crazy. They didn't zoom in or anything like that. So, I mean, clearly it must have been pretty bad. But he was acknowledging it when he was standing on the turnbuckle. Best case scenario, stitches. That's what I got. Best case scenario. I'm hoping there's no, like, actual damage to the, the eye area that, is going to cause him to miss some time. Because, man, this is Royal Rumble season, and I went out on a limb in October. And I said Kevin Owens is my way too early Royal Rumble pick. And I do stand by that. I really hope that it comes to fruition. But this will be a bump in the road if this hurts. But, man, shout out to Kevin Owens, man, for this 2022 that he had.
He has been going through some
injuries,
though.
Let's talk about it real quick. He had a freaking main event match with Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania. Like, you could retire that next day, and your career is a success, and trump so many other competitors before you that have probably won championships after championships, because that moment meant so much to 80,000 people who were there in attendance, me being one of them, the millions of folks watching around the world, tuning into WrestleMania. And then you end the year 2022 having John Cena's only match in this calendar year, so you tag with John Cena, and you face off with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like, how many days we got left for the New Year one? Is there any way we can get a one-on-one between him and Hulk Hogan tomorrow?
Hey, that'll make it work.
We can do this. We can make it happen for KO's year just to, knock off all of the, the golden boys from all the eras. But, hey, this was a hell of a SmackDown. It lived up to the hype. I feel like it delivered, and I hope this episode of the SmackDown review delivered as well. But, John, what are your thoughts on this massive moment? Just like John Cena returning, obviously, but just like the way the match kind of played out, it was a lot more slow paced than I expected. But it did have that pay-per-view feel. Like, that's kind of the trend, like we said, throughout the duration of the show. It actually felt like I don't know, like the John Cena and Kevin Owens were truly the better tag team.
I was about to say I agree with that. I had that in my notes right there. I felt like they had the chemistry a little bit better than Roman and Sammy. But the funniest thing to me was whenever Roman first got tagged in, and he kind of like went to do that little face off with Kevin Owens, and he kind of just like waves him off, wanting John Cena to come in. And then of course, like John, he's over there just like looking, of course, waiting to see what's going to happen. Kevin Owens is just a little distracted, and Roman hits him with that little clothesline. And then the way John Cena just throws up his hands like, oh, he kind of knew that was going to happen type stuff, So that was like the funniest moment of it. But I don't know what's going to happen, dude. I mean, just the whole situation with the bloodline. Of course, Sammy gets pinned and all that stuff. That's the only thing that I'm kind of looking forward to now. Just what's the outcome of this, I guess you could say, because it's probably I don't expect John Cena to come into this next, and have
he's gone. He lives in Tampa. That's why he was there.
Yeah, deal with this. So I'm kind of just like, I mean, yeah, you came in big night, type stuff. But I mean, what's the involvement with it down the road? I guess you could say. Is he going to be maybe helping Kevin Owens in a way, but I just don't know what the direction is of the bloodline in their situation right now. I mean, so that kind of got me at a little confused spot. So yeah. Definitely thrown off with this.
It would be pretty cool if John Cena showed up at the Rumble.
I was going to say, man, I mean, the way that he's been going, I mean, you get, one match every year for the past 20 years, I mean, maybe that's just a contract type thing. And who knows how long it gets signed for,
Who knows, man. This was a pretty fun episode, though. Just not only the show, but just recording it, talking about it. I was chomping at the bit to get get this one knocked out, man. I do believe this is the last one of 2022. I need to double check with Matt, but if it is,
I mean, of course, there might be like a nostalgia that comes up or something like that. But on Monday, I believe it's already the 1st.
Sunday's the 1st.
Sunday, so yeah, I think we're good, man.
Cool. Cool beans. What I like to see, man. I'm ready for 2023. I've said that. I've beat that dead horse right now so much, but man, this year was just. I mean, let me just quote Carlito. It was not cool, and I'm definitely ready to move on to greener pastures, and I hope that's going to happen this week. So, anyways, I'll go and give the floor to you, man. Any shout outs, any plugs, anything like that before we sign off here and let these wonderful listeners go.
Well, I mean, I ain't really got too much, but of course, like you were kind of talking about, I mean, it's kind of good that we're coming up to the end of this year. I mean, I felt like I've probably went through my good ups and downs too myself. So, yeah, definitely want to wrap this one up. Hopefully, looking for better things in the next 2023, I guess you could say. So, yeah, definitely manifest all of that. But, yeah, definitely want to give a shout out to all the listeners, all the Discord members, Patreons, everything like that. It is crazy, hearing all the mailbags from y'all. So, yeah, definitely something that I tune into. So, it's something that I kind of bounce off to as well. So, yeah, it's kind of good. But other than that, shout out to you, Mike, Football Function and everything like that, your side. But, yeah, definitely want to wrap it up like that.
Oh, yeah. Listen to the stock investment episode if you haven't already, because we want to hear that feedback. I am curious as to what superstars you guys would put your stock into for the 2023 calendar year.
And actually, another thing, man, I mean, I was thinking about this morning whenever I was listening to the mailbag, and it was kind of crazy just to hear, like, some of the voices that kind of came back and everything like that. And I kind of just want to do something. All right, for this next year, if you listen to this episode, I want you to put your favorite wrestler and your birth date in the Discord chat. And who knows if something kind of crazy comes up around your time. But, yeah. Definitely want to kind of see what the viewers is looking like and maybe kind of reward them in a way.
Who's sticking around for the end of the show crew?
Oh, yeah. I mean, not to say like, oh, man, let's make a list of this. But I'm just kind of curious about who's tuned in with us and like who's sticking with us type stuff. And just maybe see if I can get a little reward going out for them. Okay.
You guys heard it there. John Carrasco maybe, having some big things in store. I do want to thank you guys, man. This is a hell of a community.
Oh yeah,
WWE podcast
it's crazy,
fam.
Man. I mean, whenever you introduced me to this, like I said, I didn't think it was like as big as it was, and of course, there's just people all over the world that you can kind of get a little insight from. There's different opinions and stuff like that from plenty of different people, so it kind of just makes the mind jump around here and there. But yeah, like you're saying, thank y'all for that.
Yep, without a doubt, man. You guys all have a phenomenal weekend. Happy New Year. Safe New Year. Oh, yeah. You guys don't drink and drive, all right? Call an Uber, call a Lyft, call a friend, something like that. Just figure out the situation. It's not worth it. It's never worth the consequences that are on the other side. No matter how close, no matter how good you think you can do it, it is never worth it. Trust me. Just dropped my phone. That's how serious I am right now. Threw my phone on the ground. But anyways... You guys have a damn good day. Walk passionately in the direction of your dreams, and I'll talk to you soon. Go Celtics.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.